All right, Russ. Another month, another opportunity to share the good, the bad, the ugly of our passive income report with the
Dude,
world.
you're the ugly. What are you talking about?
How did I know? How did I know that was coming? But hey, should I go ahead and pull up the report here?
Yeah, I mean, they
Let's
ain't
do this
tired
thing.
of looking at you and I. They
Let's
they
do
want
this
to
thing.
look at some numbers. They want to see the receipts.
All
Show
right.
me the receipts, the deets and the receipts. Like you got the blinking. I feel like I just got into the an episode of the Twilight Zone with your
Yeah.
screen flashing at me like
I
that,
have
bro.
no
Come on.
idea what just happened. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
The
what's going
heck?
on with your screen. You got to fix that. That's brutal. For everybody not watching this live, uh, you're good. And by the way, if you have epilepsy, don't watch this live because Joey's screen just would have thrown you into a seizure. That's crazy.
All right. Let me try something else here. Sorry.
All right, we're gonna start this podcast over. By the way, for the people listening to fix this, why don't you just go ahead and put it on the screen so we can test this out?
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
Mm.
Can you see it now?
All right, so let's start this fresh for the podcast here. Sorry for everybody watching this on Facebook and YouTube. This is just what we do.
All right. All right, Russ, this is another month, another opportunity to share with the world what is working, what is challenging in the passive income space, and maybe hopefully inspire some people to take some action. So,
Yeah. I love this. I love this time every month where we get to show it. If this is a first exposure to our brand, and you're like, you guys are showing your own personal passive income, talk to them, Joey, about why this is so important for us.
well, so it's a number of different reasons. Number one, we want to share with you, like when we started listening to other people share about passive income ideas, we were like, okay, how legit is this? Like, does this actually happen or is this just a bunch of talk? And so we said, why don't we lead from the front and let's try it ourselves and then tell people how did it work for us? So that's number one. Number two, it's super motivating and it creates accountability for you and me, right? If we're going to be talking about how financial freedom comes from passive income that's greater than your monthly expenses, we better be doing it ourselves. And we better be doing it at a level that we can speak intelligently to you each and every week about these strategies and how they can produce freedom for you.
Here's the short and fast anything that you want to be successful at, teach it.
Yep.
Start leading in it. We've had so many episodes where we've interviewed other people that's talked about doing that very thing. Joey and I were not the expert in the passive income space several years back. We were listening to experts. We wanted to be experts, right? The way you become an expert is you start teaching, you start practicing it. We started sharing this report. It forced us through this report to go out and learn more, to teach more, to find more opportunities to create passive income. That's the whole purpose here. We're just being super transparent. Most people aren't. They try to show you how good or bad they are, and you only put the Instagram face up, right? The best
That's
part.
right.
But every single month, regardless if it's good or bad, we're going to show you these numbers. And over time, it's definitely been on an upward trajectory. But we went through a dip the last 2 or 3 months because of the wintertime. And some of our businesses don't operate very well or not profitable inside those winter months. And we keep showing you what those opportunities look like. So let's look at this list. And just from a holistic standpoint, I know many of you are like, I've only listened to the first 5 minutes of your episode, so please go ahead and give me the numbers now. I'll do that for you because I know that. We brought in a little over $119,000 in income last month from these activities. This is not our main businesses, by the way. Sometimes people are like, oh, this is what you made total. No, these are businesses that we do not work in. We do not operate in. We just help provide insight, some strategic management and marketing from time to time. These are side businesses for us, if you will.
That's right.
We had expenses a little over $71,000. So last month, Joey, our passive income was $47,500.
And that's a welcome sign, man. It was up 43% over the last month of February of 2022 was 33,000. So Yeah, it's great to see that movement in the right direction. Now, one other quick thing as we do this, and we want to share with you how you can do this for yourself. There's two ways that you can get involved in our coaching to get you to the point of financial freedom. One, if you're not an accredited investor, right? You don't make more than 200,000 a year individually or 300,000 as a joint filer, that, or you don't have over $1 million of net worth outside of your home, then you're not an accredited investor. We want to invite you to our inner circle. That's where you're going to get coaching. You're going to get the training. You're going to get the courses that will help you to get to this point. And you can go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/free call and have a 15-minute call with one of our coaches to explain exactly what this is and how you can get involved. If you are an accredited investor, join us at the Passive Income Mastermind. You can go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/club200, where we are around 7, 8, 9-figure other accredited investors who are becoming a comprehensive, better investor, right? Getting the mindset to get you to 200% of your passive income greater than your monthly expenses. And we'd love to have you join us there. You can apply at that link.
Well, here's one of the things too, that as part of that mastermind, one of our mastermind members is Mark Podolsky. He runs an amazing business called the Land Geek. You probably have heard him on the Art of Passive Income or many, many other people's podcasts, including ours. And part of that process is that he inspired us to get really super interested in the passive income space as it relates to land flipping. And last month, Joey, our land flipping business eclipsed over $20,000, man. We brought in more than $21,000. And after our expenses to operate the business, had almost $15,000 a month in passive. That is not like we sold one piece of property, like whoop-de-doo, guys. Like I've sold a piece of property, made 15 grand in my life too. No, those are monthly notes. So that money is reoccurring. That's every single month that is coming in for sometimes as many as 84 months. And we constantly are taking that revenue and buying more pieces of property and selling it on terms so it continues to grow. This is one of those things that I get super excited about because every time we put it on the board, there's no red in the prior, in a comparison for the prior month, right? It's always in the black. It's always growing.
That's right. And the key thing about this is that land flipping it can go at any stage that you want, right? It can be the thing that you start as a side hustle and you grow into a point where it could replace your current active income. Or even in the third bucket, it could be a done for you model. That's what Russ and I have done is we've hired the Land Geeks team to run this business for us 100%. And we talk about those types of opportunities within our passive income mastermind at the highest level. So let's talk about Wake Up in Birmingham for a second, Russ. What happened in the month of March in that business?
Well, first of all, before you even talk about that, first you have to ask the question, am I interested in building passive income in the short-term rental space? The short-term rental space meaning Airbnb and VRBO. And in the past, VRBO was really, it was kind of carved out niche for the wealthy, meaning that unless you had a property down at the beach or in the mountains, you didn't participate in the short-term rental space.
That's
right.
But
now with platforms like Airbnb, it's become a household name. I mean, people now will say when they go to a new city, oh, I'm staying in an Airbnb, which I love, by the way, that this brand has built the short-term rental business as their name. People think like they're staying in an Airbnb. You're not staying in an Airbnb. Airbnb is just a marketing platform. You're staying in a condo. You're staying in a house that was rented off a platform like Airbnb. But they have built an amazing business where every single person out there has the opportunity to take a room, an apartment, a house, and rent it and allow this marketing platform to share it with the world. And you and I just tapped into that. We use something called rental arbitrage, where we go out and we don't buy the apartments. We actually set up a lease just as a long-term tenant And then we put it on these marketing platforms like Airbnb and VRBO and booking.com and many, many more in order to just share those apartments with people who want to come in town or who need a place to stay while their house is being renovated, whatever it may be, for a couple of days to a couple of months. And that business has grown, Joey, over the last 2 years to where now we have over 20 something units. Last month's revenue, taking out all the cleaning fees, which everybody's ever stayed in a short-term rental, those cleaning fees are big. We try to isolate those because those have lots of expenses too in it, to over 60,000 in gross revenue with a net of over $18,000 last month. That's pretty cool.
Now, that's just part of the story because we also have, you have some units specifically with another investment group, and then your daughter actually has a unit that you were able to start for her. And we have our management company. So the total income from Wake Up in Birmingham was almost 22,000 in the month of March 2022.
So our short-term rental business brought in over $22,000 net.
Yes.
I was telling my nephew this, by the way, the other day, and he was like, that's crazy. Like, he's thinking about what he's going to do as he graduates high school. And, there's a lot of people out there that graduate college and they go take a job and they make $45,000 a year. That's a great paying job, right? And he's like, you guys just made that in like half of that in 1 month. What are you going to do with the other 10 months out of the year? Like, that's the way his brain thinks, right? Like, if I had to go work my whole year to make that, like, how do you do that? And that's the beauty of this business, right? You can learn how to do this for yourself. Like, this was something that we didn't understand. We didn't know how to do it. We were listening. And just like we said a second ago, what did we do? We started teaching it. We started teaching people our process. We started documenting our process, started documenting our success every single month. And then we started documenting the success of all of our students. If you're interested in getting into the short-term rental game, like, as a member of our community, you can go to our course tab and take action on that. You can actually reach out to one of our community guides and say, hey, you have a deal for me. I want to take that short-term rental course. I want to be one of those people who are creating income while I'm still doing my main job. Maybe this could become your full-time job at some point. I love the fact that this business gives every single person an opportunity to create passive income.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So go to our community. If you're not already a member, wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/community, and talk to one of our community guides about how to get that even at a potential discount. So let's talk about Ethereum miners for a second, Russ. So these are computers we purchased 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. I mean, it's been a while. And these are constantly performing the functions that are getting accredited Ethereum. And so every single month, why are you laughing at me?
I just love every month when you explain this. I'm like, I would be more confused by having heard you say this.
Well, thank you. Could you please expound?
No, I want to just I'm just giving commentary. I'm just giving feedback. It's critical. It's critical of you. It's not like critical, like improving critical. It's just critical of you. Keep going.
I got that part. So these computers are performing a function that they are getting credited with cryptocurrency. In this case, it's Ethereum. But you pointed out something. So this, first of all, I'll just give you the numbers. This month, yours actually produced $8,600 and had an expense of $2,700. So almost $6,000 of net income. And mine, I only have four of these machines. They created 1466, had $650 in expense. So it's $816 of net income.
So but for those driving down the road getting confused with the numbers, we brought in almost 7,000 in passive income from our Ethereum miners.
Okay. Thank you. But you pointed out something to me. You said, hey, by the way, these are about to move away. Did you say move away from proof of stake or towards proof of stake?
Toward proof of stake. So there's two types of ways that you get paid in this world. Ultimately, these transactions have to be done some way, right? So we're in the proof of work phase where our computers are doing the work to prove out that when someone pays for anything, fill in the blank, like a house, like we have a house that someone's talking about paying for in Bitcoin right now. In order to confirm that that transaction happened, meaning that money moved from that person's crypto wallet into our crypto wallet, it has to be proved through this blockchain. And somebody gets paid to do that proof of work. Well, that's what our computers are doing right now. But Ethereum is actually transitioning to go to what's called proof of stake. And the reason they're doing that is that the machines that we use operate on a lot of electricity. Now, Ethereum, not as much as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like 5 or 6 times the amount of electricity to prove out this work. And that's one of the things they're trying to figure out ways that are more efficient. I'm good with that, whatever. And they're going to ultimately do away with the need of our computers to be able to produce that proof of work. So we're going to no longer be mining cryptocurrency for Ethereum when that happens.
Okay, so then what are we going to do?
Great question.
Well, so this is great. This is a point that I want to make. We have great partnerships in all these businesses, operators that we trust, people that we have gotten to know, and they have a track record and a competency in the space that we don't necessarily. So in this case, they have already told us that once the miners move away from Ethereum, they can go ahead and mine some other cryptocurrency. We don't know exactly which one that will be, but we know that it will continue to produce in a similar fashion. Now, the results will vary, obviously, but at this point, we're so far into this, we've more than paid for the cost of the actual equipment, and the maintenance fees on this are always being covered as of current day. And so we put a lot of faith in the fact that going forward, we will have an additional cryptocurrency to mine. It just might not be Ethereum in this case. So just want to point that out, that then the value of that partnership with an operator is super important.
Well, it's a beautiful thing that this is not our gifting, right? You and I are not experts in cryptocurrencies, clearly. We're not experts in knowing the difference between which one we should be moving to next. I just threw that out in the chat actually to see if some of our potential experts in the audience would give us an idea of which one of these cryptocurrencies out there that are still operating on a proof of work should we move to. Now, I think that there's still opportunities for these little miners, right? They still got some work left in them, man. These guys aren't ready to retire. Our miners are like, I listen to your podcast too. I'm not about no retiring. There's no retiring in me. I want to keep working.
That's right.
I need another crypto to mine. I'll mine. I don't even know what that means, but I'll do my work. You just program me. You tell me what to do.
Oh man, that was a total rabbit trail. I appreciate you bringing that up. So next on the list, let's keep going here.
Joey doesn't even like my crypto miner. That's the worst crypto mining voice I've ever heard. He said.
So we have some ATMs that we bought in a syndication, and we get paid every single month, $2,184. And so that did not change last month. Didn't change this month. So it's a consistent cash flow. There's other benefits to having done it. We have a tax, a bonus depreciation kind of opportunity within that. Why are you laughing at me? Well, I can't see you right now, and I'm frustrated.
Dude, I'm just having fun, man. You seem to be uptight today. Like, loosen up a little bit, man. Like, you got that top button up or something. You got that CPA vibe going today. Like, you're giving me like just the straight up. Like, I'm just all about the numbers, nothing but the numbers.
Hey,
take it or leave it.
I'm trying to give people, if you're listening to this, you can't see it visibly like everybody else.
They don't care. They just want to know just how good is it? Tell me about it.
It's fantastic. Okay. ATMs are awesome because we do nothing and they pay us every single month.
All right. So here's the key though. Let's talk about this. And we get questions about this is how do I invest into an ATM? Well, one, it's a syndication, right? You need to be an accredited investor. Two, you need to know, is this what you're looking for, right? Like, is this the best place for your money? I can't answer any of those things. You gotta meet with those people individually and talk to them about that. Joey and I, we were looking for another alternative avenue to create passive income that we felt like had value to the world. And I believe, the other day, Joey, I was going to a swim meet with my daughter, and I'm going there, and I know those jokers are going to hit me up for a $5 parking fee, right? And I'm like, piss, I have no cash. I'd never have cash, right?
Me
Like,
neither.
probably you're listening to this, you're like, I don't have cash in my wallet either, right? And only a few times in your life, like when you're doing the valet or when you're going to a parking lot like this, do you need money or buying a watermelon from the guy on the side of the road? I don't know. Those are opportunities for cash, right? Outside of that, everybody else is good on Venmo and credit cards. And so I'm like, what do I have to do? So I swing by a bank. Of course, it's not my bank because the bank I use, I can call them and tell them whatever I want to do. But the downside of that is that those jokers only have like 2 branches, and neither one of them were anywhere close to where I was going. So what was the fee I paid? $3.50. $3.50 to get a $20 bill out of a stupid ATM so that I could pay a $5 fee. So it cost me $8.50 to park at this swim meet.
Wow.
Well, that's valuable though. People need cash. ATMs provide value to the world. And what we do is that we're supporting that by owning ATM machines that people can kind of get money out to pay the parking ticket or not ticket, whatever, be able to get in the parking lot. And that produces cash flow, and it's going to produce cash flow for 7 years, at least the deals that we're in. And I love it because it's just consistent every single day. Now, if our country eventually goes away from cash, which I hope it never does, but if it does, hopefully this deal's on the back end. Like hopefully we get all our money back and then some, and we're winning. But I always encourage people just to look in these, because the next one too is we talk about some syndication. We've got involved in some deals which are just put together by others. People say, well, how do I know which one I should be in? Well, one, just don't look at the math, look at the people behind the deal. You want to be asking those people, what is it that they love about the deal? What is it that they can provide in that space and nobody else can? Show me the proof of how you've done it over and over again, and talk to the people that they've been invested with them for years and years and years. Not that any of that predicts what will happen in the future, but it at least if they have some success in the past, it gives you a hope, right?
Yeah.
When somebody does
some sort of due diligence,
when
sure.
somebody has no success in the past, that may predict the future, right? It may be like, hey, you ought to invest with me. We get some of those reach outs from time to time. Would you guys invest with me? I got an idea. I just started. Like,
it's my first deal.
Yeah,
that's never going to work.
Well, so there's lots of opportunities to get involved. I mean, our list here is full of things. So we have an information company. We, people who have an audience. If maybe you're an influencer, you're somebody who has developed a following of people and you have a skill, regardless of what that skill is, maybe there's a course that you can create. One of the people who inspired us to create this passive income report was a guy named Pat Flynn, the Smart Passive Income podcast. You may have followed that before. He had a skill in architecture. Like he could help people be able to pass a part within the architectural exam. And so he built out a course online that was teaching people how to take this one part of the exam, and he started building passive income. And then that just inspired him to where he started making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in different affiliate revenues and different types of ways to build passive income. So if you have a following or you're an influencer, you feel like you're an influencer, maybe there's a way for you to create space. I mean, look at us. I mean, last month we created over $1,300 net after paying all expenses for just our information that exists, some courses that we've created. I love how all of these sort of things kind of play together, Joe.
Yeah, no doubt. And I if you'd asked us 4 or 5 years ago if we had, valuable enough information to share with the world, we didn't, right? We didn't think we could charge for the coursework that we've been able to create over the last several years. And now it continuously pays every single month on autopilot. So I'm with you. Like, if you don't believe it's possible, we're just a bunch of rednecks from Alabama. And if we could do it, you could do it for sure. Just kind of hone in on what those things are that you can add value to the world with. I want
What's one
to,
thing that we can add value to the world with, Joey, on this list?
I'm sorry.
For,
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What?
What's one area that we don't add value every single month to the world in that's evident on this report?
Are you trying to get at 100 unicorns?
I'm saying that we are not in the e-commerce space. Like, you decided you wanted to create a drop shipping company, which I think you had a great intention. Like, you wanted to teach your girls a business. I just want to know, for instance, for somebody who, like a dad who's looking to create a business with his daughters, for instance, how much time and effort have they learned about how the e-commerce business works, or how to run a business in general based upon 100 unicorns?
I would say 0.0%. I never could figure out how to make it successful myself, and didn't have the time and energy to pour into it. So this was a huge fail for me, from looking at not just the cost of the business from an outlay originally, but the true cost of it from a time perspective, resources. Like, this is super important when you're considering an investment, is the time commitment in order for you to get it up and running. And I thought, because it's already running, it doesn't take that much time and I can outsource certain things, which is true. But the most important thing is driving sales to something like an e-commerce brand is very difficult if you don't have any knowledge of like Google ads or Facebook ads. Like, that's just a huge,
I'm gonna give
lack
you,
for me.
So here's one of the things. So I'm going through this Turo course right now with my daughters, and we're about to interview the actual author of that course on our podcast later today. So it's going to be something that's going to come out. You're going to get to hear it pretty soon. One of the things I loved about his course, Joey, is that he didn't assume people had an understanding of what to do. Like, people like us, right? Everybody, where do we want to learn? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do we want to learn? Do we want to learn from a professor at level 10? Or do we want to learn from somebody who's level 2 or level 3?
Level 2 or 3.
Yeah, like, that's how we learn. Right now, do we want that person to have the skill set of a professor at level 10? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I think too much of the information that exists out there is being shared at an 8, 9, or 10 level. And when we're starting something from scratch, we don't understand it. So my guess is that when you were going through this, you couldn't teach your daughters it because you were having to learn at a professor level, the information being shared with you, instead of it being to where, like, my daughters and I are going through this Turo class, we're learning about what is an insurance company, what is, who's involved when you buy a car. There's sales tax. What does that sales tax go to pay? Like, it is basic things we're going through. And I'm able to be like, okay, wait a second. So there's 3 different types of coverages for a car. What do those 3 things cover again? And I'm teaching them stuff that they should have a baseline understanding of before we ever get into how do you actually rent it and what do you do with that, and on and on and on. I think that is super important as you go through any type of investment opportunity. If you're trying to get your family involved in it, that you remember that we need to learn and teach at a level we all can consume. And I know sometimes we get a little too high level on our end. I slap my hand every time that I've made that mistake. Hopefully today was just a chance for you to see some of the things we're doing, but us having fun, me picking at Joey a little bit, just to let you see our report is really meant to give you feedback as to what's possible, right? Not that any of these things you should do personally. Be honest, you don't know that. Only way you can know that is that if your investor DNA matches up with that. And Joey, you talked about joining the community. Inside the community, our first step is to take the Passport Challenge, which helps you understand your why. The second step is focused on helping you match up your investor DNA with who you are as an investor with the investments. And so for us, a lot of those investments on there do match up with our investor DNA. There's a handful that don't match up with our investor DNA, and shocking, those are the ones that don't do so well. But we're stubborn, so we'll keep pounding away to try to learn through those so that we can teach, because we know that there's many of you who may be successful and have skill sets in those things that we're failing at. And so we don't want to discourage you from being able to like hear about how those things work.
Absolutely. So if there's something that we shared that you feel like would be valuable to go deeper on, hit us up in the community. Like join the community and hit us up in the DM function, because we'd love to hear from you. What is something we can grow deeper in? Secondly, if there's something that's not on our report that you're like, you guys are missing it, this is a brilliant strategy for passive income and you should be doing it, we're all ears. Like hit us up in the community. Go to wealthwithoutwallstreet.com/community. Join us and hit us up in there. Guys, as always, we're grateful to have you. And if you found value, please share this. Please like, rate, and review us so other people can find us. And we will catch you on next month's report.